So here we go. This is the penultimate segment of our top 100 board games of all time. Tell us in the comments below whether or not your favourite board games have appeared on this list. If not, why not? I'll tell you why not. It's because either they're shit or we ain't played them, right? But enough of me talking out my arse. Let's crack on with this list.
Bollocks.
So number 20 on this list is a game that is based on a semi-popular TV show. It's called Spartacus, A Game of Blood and Treachery. This is a game that we play with my mum because she gets embarrassed about the Jupiter's cock reference. But yeah, basically in Spartacus, you'll be taking the role of what's called a dominus, like basically a faction, a house. You'll be buying slaves and gladiators and you'll be sending them out into the Primus to get their limbs hacked off with rusty blades. Essentially, you'll be trying to get the most money and become the most powerful house in ancient Rome. There's a lot of backstabbing in this. You'll be playing cards to take different actions and you'll be trying to stitch up your opponents, right? You'll be able to foil their well-laid plans, right? Spartacus has a lot of card play and then you have a little bit of a miniature skirmish at the end. I think that's why we like it so much. And also the fact that it takes risks with its content. It's sort of like a throwback to when games actually used to be quite fun, you know? So number 19 is a relatively new game. It's a horse racing betting game called Ready, Set, Bet. In this game, we recommend that you use an app, but you can use a little board and move the horses yourself. Don't recommend you do that because it sucks. But basically, you'll be rolling dice and moving these horses. And in real time, you'll be betting on whether or not horses will come in first, second or third. The thing is, the number 7 horse will have more chance of moving more times, but this is mitigated by the outlying horses moving further if their number is rolled in succession. There's all sorts of different things to bet on. You can bet on whether or not my channel's going to be banned by YouTube in the new year. But yeah, Ready, Set, Bet is one of those party games that always produces loads of noise and cheers. And if you like these sort of shouty games in the same vein as, say, Panic on Wall Street, then this is going to be right up your back alley, son. Number 18 is a game by Mac Gerdts. This used to be in our top 10. In fact, I'm sure it was in our top 5 at one point, but it's called Concordia. This is a worker placement game where you'll be playing cards from your hand to take actions. This is essentially a Mac Gerdts rondel game, but using cards as the rondel because you'll be cycling through this deck and you'll be adding cards to your deck in a sort of semi-deck building manner, but not really. You'll be harvesting resources, storing them in your storehouse, and then you'll be using these resources to buy other cards. And it's a dry themeless game, but for some reason it is absolutely fantastic. There's loads of different maps available for this. There's the Salsa expansion, which adds salt, which is like a wild card, and each map brings its own new rules to the table. Yeah, so Concordia, one of our favourite worker placement games of all time, and it basically mirrors my bland, sterile character. Number 17 is another worker placement game in stark contrast to the bland, themeless nonsense of Concordia. This is Lords of Waterdeep. It's got the D&D logo on it, but it's got nothing to do with D&D, really. You can forget all about that crap. So if you want to play this game, people say I don't like D&D, then you could tell them either to fuck off or shut the fuck up. But yeah, basically you'll be taking on the role of one of the Lords of Waterdeep. You'll be recruiting either wizards, thieves, not rogues, it's not 5th edition D&D, you fuckwit, fighters and all that sort of stuff, clerics, and you'll be sending these people out to complete quests and get more resources that allow you to complete more quests. There is a fantastic expansion, one of our favourite expansions ever made for this, called Scoundrels of Skullport. Adds a couple of sideboards, more stuff to do, more quests, more shit. But Lords of Waterdeep, no, there's just something about this game, I don't know what it is, just keep coming back to it, and it is just one of the best worker placement games we've ever played, and I want to play it now. Number 16 on this list is a game that we really only get played maybe once, maybe twice a year at a push. It's Twilight Imperium 4th edition. This is a X game. Fucking hell, you think after a third attempt I'd know what it is. Right, let's have a go. Explore, expand, exterminate. Fucking hell, I don't know. But anyway, in Twilight Imperium, you'll be taking on a role of, like, is it one of 18 different factions? You'll be trying to build ships, trying to take control of the universe. You'll be engaging in a little bit of political discourse, you know what I mean? The thing about this game is that it is long, it's drawn out. It gives you time to bake your cake, so to speak. I'm not sure if I prefer this one over the 3rd edition. I can't put the 3rd edition on this list because I got rid of it in favour of this one. But it slimmed it down. It's lost a bit of its epic nature. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've just got to try and forget the 3rd edition existed and just focus on this one. There is an expansion for this called The King's Prophecy or something. Didn't pick that up because apparently it's an all-in thing. You can't pick and choose what stuff you use, and some of it isn't that great, but I don't know, maybe we'll pick it up one day. Twilight Imperium is an event experience that you really do need the maximum 6 players for. In a sense, that's a barrier to play because you're not really going to be able to muster up 6 players and get them to sit at a table for 6 to 8 to 10 hours even. If the stars align, you can get the prerequisites of what this game demands in place at the right time. Twilight Imperium, it's just one of the most epic games we ever played. Bullshit, yeah? Number 15 on this list is a very, very simple game you could just basically play with your beer mats. It's called Skull and Roses, or Skull as they call it now. In this game, everybody will be given a certain number of beer mats. On one of them, you've got a skull, and on the rest, you've got a load of roses. In unison, everybody will choose one of their beer mats to play and place it face down in front of them. And after that, you'll get the option of either placing another beer mat down or starting a bid. If you start a bid, you will basically say a number that corresponds to how many beer mats you think you can turn over on the table, starting with your own without revealing a skull. And then you'll go around the table and then people will either outbid you or pass. Eventually there's going to be one player left, and then you'll be able to laugh at them when they turn over their first beer mat and it's a skull, right? The thing about Skull and Roses is, it's really, really simple. It's a piece of piss to learn, but there's like a meta game going on where you judge the future actions of people based on what they've done before, or whether or not you think they're a sneaky bastard in reality. Can't stop playing this game. It comes out all the time. My copies are actually a little bit worn out, yeah? Played it so much that the mats inside are starting to wear down. So that's testament to how good this game actually is. It's only about 15 quid. I'm sure you can pick it up even for a tenner, but this game is that good. And if you can't afford it, if you are a cheapskate that can't afford to put their heating on, then just make it yourself. Make it out of an Amazon box that you can nick out of somebody's recycling bin. I'm not advocating theft here. Number 14 on this list is a worker placement game. What's this? The worker placement fucking episode or something? But this game is Caylus. Caylus was reportedly the best worker placement game ever made a few years ago, but it has dramatically fallen from grace for some bizarre reason. It must be something to do with that grumpy king on the box. But yeah, in Caylus, you will be trying to help the king build his castle of Caylus. You'll be doing this by building your own buildings. It will help you get resources to help the king build his castle. All the time, you've got to be worried about the provost that is going to be lurking to destroy your plans, but Caylus is one of these games that really has zero luck in it. Well, a little bit of luck, but not that much luck. And as such, your success or failure lands solely at your doorstep. Probably one of the best worker placement games we've ever played. I don't know. There's just something about building these buildings, placing them on this pathway, activating them, and being in direct competition with all the other players. It veers away from those sort of solitaire multiplayer games because you get to move the province and stitch other people up. So there is a bit of player interaction with this one. And that's probably why we like it so much. Caylus, number 14. Number 13 is another recent game designed by the same geezer who done Ready Set Betis, a game called Space Base. In this game, you will be using cards from your tableau to buy cards from a central display. You'll be activating these cards, and dependent on what other people have got in their display, then they will activate cards too. These cards will be activated on the roll of a dice, so when somebody rolls that 7 that you really want, you are going to shit yourself in an orgy of celebration. Space Base is one of them games that just keeps on giving. Even when you're not given anything, you are going to be given something. So it's a perpetual reward simulator for me. And as such, Space Base is just one of those games that is a joy to play, right? It plays up to, 6 or 7 players? I don't even know. But the game doesn't slow down if you've got a full player count. And if you like being given stuff, Space Base is definitely the game for you. Number 12 on this list is one of our favourite racing games of all time, and it's also one of the simplest racing games of all time. It's Ave Caesar. In this game, you'll be taking on the role of Charlton Heston. You'll be racing around a circus, not one of them circuses, you fucking idiot. You'll be playing cards from your hand to move your chariot forward, and if you're in the lead, you cannot play a 6, so you're at a bit of a disadvantage there. So you want to be in the lead, but not in the lead. There's also choke points on the board where only one player can position their chariot, so everyone's going to be blocked up behind them. You've also got to make sure that you toss your coin up Caesar's alley before the 3rd lap, otherwise you cannot win. One thing that we really like about this game is that you can force players onto the outside lanes by taking the inside lanes. Then there's a possibility they're going to be running out of cards before the end of the 3rd lap, so you can laugh your ass off at their failure. Ave Caesar is one of the best racing games of all time. It's so simple to teach. You can teach this in like 2 minutes, maybe less than that if you can talk quicker than me. It's ruthless, right? You can stitch people up, and it's fast, right? It takes literally about 20-30 minutes to play, right? right? And it never gets boring. I love Ave Caesar. It's one of my favourite games of all time. It always comes out. We're never ever getting rid of it. And I've heard on the grapevine that it's going to be reprinted next year in a super duper deluxe edition. So I'll be massaging my prostate over that one, guaranteed. It's number 11 on this list, and the game that's going to conclude our latest segment of Top 100 Board Games of All Time is a game that has fallen out of the top 10 for the first time since we've been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years, I think it is. It's Seven Wonders. I'm not saying I don't like this game anymore. I still love Seven Wonders, but there's too many other games that have sneaked into the top 10 to push this one onto the periphery, right? In Seven Wonders, you'll be building your civilization using a card drafting mechanism. You'll be getting resources into your civilization that will allow you to build your wonder. You'll be using commercial cards to boost your revenue, or you'll be bolstering your army so you can send them over the border to give your opponents on your left and right hand side decent pummeling. Seven Wonders sort of captures the grandiose nature of those bigger civilization building games like Civilization, but condenses it down into a manageable card to blow engine building system. It plays up to 7 or 9 players if you've got some of the expansions, and the player count definitely doesn't affect the amount of time it takes to play it, right? I just love Seven Wonders. I love watching my civilization build itself over the course of 30 minutes. There's so many different options with this. There's so many different expansions. You've got Babel expansion, you've got the Leaders expansion, Cities expansion. You can even go out on high seas with the Armada expansion. And yet Seven Wonders, one of the best card drafting to blow building games you can play today. It's just a shame pushed out of our top 10. Sorry, not sorry. So you go, that is the end of the penultimate segment of our top 100 board games of all time. Come back next time for our top 10 board games of all time. Let's just have a look what's on there. Holy shit, I'm sure a little bit of wee has just come out of me looking at these 10 games down here. So if you want a little bit of wee to come out of your winky, then please come back next time for the concluding episode of our monumental top 100 board games of all time. See you later.